Chatswood Concourse, how are we doing?
Here's how to watch a comedy special. Drone at the intro and skip immediately to when the jokes start. Hover your mouse over the bar to see where the most popular points of the video are. Like the video when you hear a good joke, and subscribe because you're taken by the comedian's good looks. Share it with a friend and re-watch the beginning to relive the experience from their eyes.
Hello everybody and welcome. Can we start clapping, start cheering and go absolutely bananas for me, Jenny Tian? Oh, hello everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Now this show is all about social media and the algorithms that are in our lives. I like to get to know my audience by knowing what's on your algorithm. So feel free to yell out at me right now. What do you see on your feed? Sorry, what was that? Jimmy? Oh, Jimmy O Yang. Oh, not Jenny Tian. You're sitting in the front row as well. Nice. I'll share with you in a moment what's on my algorithm. But first, are you guys ready to see some stand-up comedy? Hells yeah. I'm going to do some jokes. You guys are such a beautiful audience. You are. Not all audiences are so kind. I did a show once and someone came up to me afterward and they went, you know, your English is actually quite good. And see, I just found this so condescending because it was my mum. My mum's the type of person who really wants me to be in a relationship, a stable one. The last relationship I was in, it was actually a controlling relationship. Yeah, I was in control and it was with one of those tech bros, yuck. And he was always talking about AI. He was like, oh, the singularity. Do you know the singularity? I'm like, yeah, that's what it's called when I leave you. Yeah. But, you know, since then I've been out dating and I find dating so tricky because it's unpredictable. I got flaked on the other night by a guy and this is how he did it. He sent me a voice note. I played it and it was just like, Jenny, I am so sorry. I cannot come to dinner. And that, by the way, is a sexy Spanish accent. I know coming out of my face it seems Chinese. Spanish. He was like, I cannot come to dinner. I have no money. Gracias. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh man, do I offer to pay now? Do we reschedule? I was so confused. I just sent him a job ad. But one of the worst dates I went on, it was a dinner date where the bill arrived on the table and it came to that age-old question, who should get it, me or him? He looked over at me and he was like, I think we should split this 50-50 because I believe in feminism. And I was just like, I think you should pay for it because I believe in the patriarchy. I shouldn't even be allowed to vote. Yeah, but, you know, at the moment I'm also exploring my sexuality. Oh, nice, thank you. One clap at the front, the rest of you don't give a fuck. Thanks. Too late, but thanks. Now, I'm doing this by turning all men off my dating apps to see what's on the other side. Turns out it's a lot of horny couples that want you to join in. And now that I've tried this out, I've tried both genders, I can quite confidently say that I identify as a homewrecker. Yeah, my pronouns are that and bitch. Yeah, but look, I'm glad to be out of that relationship with a tech bro. I love being single because I hate giving head. I do. I have no segues. I hate giving head, right? Because it takes so long. It's endless. And there's no reference of time during it. I want head to be more like the game Mortal Kombat. So you can see a progress bar. And then you could just do the same 3 moves over and over again. Right? Forward, back, tickle, tickle. When you want it to go faster, you could do a combo, 2 moves at the same time. And the guy's just grunting right? And you know the end is over. You know it's coming up because it would go, finish him! Fatality. But also, I don't want Head to be more like Mortal Kombat because just when you think it's done and he's knocked out, he'll spring right back up and go, round 2! Now, I know that, you know, there's some of you tonight, right, that, you know, might not know me, you might not know my online stuff, you might not be on social media at all. So for those of you, let me introduce you to the concept of the doom scroll. And that's how the rest of this show is going to go. We're going to start with a hook that'll make you watch till the end. You're going to see some content, an ad break in the middle, some more content, a screen time warning, which obviously you're going to ignore, and some more content at the end. Can you believe that instead of just doom scrolling at home, you're now doing it here collectively for $35? And for you, you're welcome. This is free. So if you're wondering, like, okay, but what kind of content is there on the internet? There's like an endless amount, and I really mean endless. For example, there's guys cooking topless, guys doing pottery topless, there's podcast bros topless. There's also a thing called a duet, which is specifically on the app TikTok, which is what I'm going to be speaking about tonight. That's where one person posts a video, someone posts one in response. You see them both play side by side. That sounds a bit confusing, so let me show you an example.
Can we stop duetting videos when we have absolutely nothing to add to them? Can we stop duetting videos when we have absolutely nothing to add to them? Can
Another person responds.
Duetting videos. Can we stop duetting videos? Can we stop duetting videos when we have... Can we stop duetting videos when we have absolutely nothing to add to?
So that's a duet. And if you're wondering, like, how I fit into the internet, this is who I am. I've got over 300,000 followers on TikTok. I'm queen of Instagram, lord of the YouTube algorithm, and an absolute Facebook peasant. And I'm known on the internet for a format called Here's the Difference, where I compare two different concepts with each other, because I kind of understand that a lot of engagement is created by people being on opposite sides, choosing sides. And here's what I'm really known for, the difference between Sydney and Melbourne. Yeah. We got some fans in. And because, you know, content creators, we're really imaginative, we're really creative. I also do the difference between Sydney and Melbourne. And, you know, also more of the difference between Sydney and Melbourne. And this one, when this one stops getting views, I do the difference between Melbourne and Sydney. But what I'm kind of interested in exploring tonight is how I got here. Like specifically here in front of you at the Chatswood Concourse and here in front of you from your YouTube recommendations. Because there was this point in my life, 2021, where all I wanted to do was quit content and quit comedy because it wasn't worth it anymore. And to kind of unpack why, we've got to rewind back in time all the way to the year 2013. At this stage, that's me. I'm a 17-year-old girl and I got to pick what I want to do for university, which is ridiculous for someone so young because you've got no life experience. And, you know, I end up going down the safe route. I go to UNSW. Oh, we've got a few UNSW kids here. And at the O Week, I don't know anyone else there. And there's this cute guy that kind of approaches me and he wants to make sure I'm safe and that I get home okay. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Turns out that was campus security, but the point is I don't know anyone and I'm lost. There's all these activities. I stumble into one, a comedy night. And headlining this comedy night is Ronny Chieng. Ooh, you know him. And he was commanding the stage. All the eyes were on him. He was so confident. Me, I just never thought that as a nerdy little Asian I could be anything more, right? He was everything I wanted to be. A law student. And you might be thinking, okay, this is how Jenny gets started in stand-up comedy. No, I picked the safe route. I decide to study the most useless degree of all time, a marketing degree. And marketing's just full of bullshit pseudoscience. Like, it takes 7 points of exposure before you make a purchase. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't worry, number 7 will show up later. But I've still got this itch of comedy. So one day, I find myself sitting in the audience of open mic comedy. Open mic comedy. And it's one of those nights where everyone can throw their name into like a bucket and just get up onto the stage. And I'm watching these people and they're so funny. It's intimidating. But then some people get up who are not very funny and they are bombing and it is silent, like right now. And then I'm like, I could at least do that. You know? Like, I could be better than that. So then I get up on stage and I am not better than that. But I still love stand-up comedy because you can really say anything you want into this microphone. For example, the other day I was checking myself for breast cancer and I got very scared because I felt a lump, but then I was relieved because I realised it was just my whole boob. Yeah, I have small boobs and boobs are really tricky, right? Like the other day I was shopping for nipple covers and if you don't know what those are, you stick one on each tit and then you can wear whatever you want over the top, confident, carefree, right? I was shopping for nipple covers at Coles. Yeah, it's where I get my chicken fillets. And get this, Coles in one pack sell 5 nipple covers. I feel like there's some people still doing the math here. 1 pack, 5 nipple covers. That means that for 2 nights, I get to go out confident, carefree. And for the other night, I got to hold a microphone and do this. But I also, I find open mic is brutal. I remember I once did a gig on the back of a ute at a train station, outdoors, just getting people's attention. It didn't even look like a comedy show. It looked like a protest. And it was hard for me getting into comedy because I come from a background with quite strict conservative parents. And, they're very intense people. Even my mum's name is intense. Her name is Highway. And I feel like the phone brand Huawei was named off her. Because she's Chinese, she's cheap, and she listens when she's not supposed to. And, I always knew when I was in trouble from my mum as well, because she would start talking in third person like a WWE commentator. I'd sneak home really late at night, and she'd just be like, oh, coming through the door past midnight with no regard for her parents is Jenny Tian. Dressed in shorts and a crop top like a whore. She's gotten a lot kinder to me as I've matured, though. Now she sends me really encouraging text messages, but they're so vague, I feel like she's just getting AI to write them. It's stuff like, Mum loves you, Jenny Tian, your mum cares about you. And I test her on this. I'm like, okay, the next time I see you, I'm going to give you the biggest hug. And she goes, that is beyond my capacity. I feel like the intensity from my parents also comes from the fact that they're from Sichuan, which is a province in China known for really spicy chilies. But I'm quite sensitive, so I can't eat spicy food. Instead, when I go out with my parents to eat dinner, I have to bring something else of my own to the table, and that's shame. Yeah, I can't even eat white people's spicy food. Collective groan, yep. And the thing is, I consider myself to be a pretty resilient person. I've done a marketing degree, years of open mic comedy. So can you imagine how humiliating it is to be defeated by the Zinger Burger? So I know I still need to make my parents proud in all of this. I need a real day job. So I take on my first ever one. With my piss useless degree, I take on the most piss useless job. I become a management consultant. Oh, we got some claps there. Are you a consultant as well? Nearly. Oh, nice. Well then, after that, maybe in a few years, you'll be standing on the stage doing this. Like, you'll experience this when you go into it. But the most common question I get asked as a consultant is like, okay, but what do consultants actually do? Like, on a day-to-day basis, like, what are they doing? And as someone that's done this for several years, I can quite confidently say, I don't know. Like, we work with various clients, like Pizza Hut. We put meetings into Outlook calendars. And here's how a typical day in consulting would go. It would just be like meeting, Coke, meeting. And there's some people that are still like, okay, but what actually goes on in one of these meetings? I'll demonstrate for you. But for this part, I'm going to need help from someone to do this. So I'm going to pick someone out. I'm going to pick you. Give them a round of applause. You can stay seated. So there's your little slip of paper. Do you see what else is happening across the front row? Relief. So you can read that piece of paper, don't show anyone else. And when I hand you the microphone, all you have to do is just read what's on that piece of paper. Okay, all right, awesome. So here is how a meeting in consulting would go.
Our business is absolutely screwed. Can you help us?
Yes, I'm from Deloitte. I can fix all of your problems as long as you give us lots of money.
We have no choice. Here's lots of money.
Thank you. So now it has been 6 months where we have digitised, revolutionised, strategised, and we are quite proud to tell you that what your business needs to do is give us more money. We're still working on it.
Well, what did you spend my money on?
The market value for cocaine is quite high.
Well, we've invested in you and it's too hard to change. We better get a real solution next time. Here's more money.
Absolutely. So now it has been 3 years. We've worked in a team of about 50. We've done heaps of overtime. We've worked really hard and, you know, we're quite proud to say that we're going to be phasing out because, AKA, we have no solution, so we're leaving.
What? Who can I turn to now?
Hi, I'm PwC.
Give them a round of applause. So I hate consulting. In fact, here's a visual representation of how I feel about consulting. Yeah, but wait, there's more. Bam, 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 bam. Did that get a clap? Sometimes you just add in things for you. So now it's 2020 and I've done 4 years of open mic comedy. I've finally got enough material cobbled together for an hour and I'm thinking, maybe I could just do this hour and be a comedian. I can quit my stupid day job. But all of my hopes and dreams are ruined in 2020 by the pandemic. Oh no, there's no toilet paper. Do you guys remember what you got up to during lockdown? Yeah. A lot of nothing? Yeah. Well, I became famous, so I can't relate to your struggles. And the pandemic, it opened up so many ugly truths for me. For example, Joe Rogan. Now, I know that his big, ugly head can be quite distressing to some people, so, Joe Rogan. I just can't believe there are more people in the world who listen to Joe Rogan than actual experts. I feel like I could give better advice than Joe Rogan. I'm a consultant. He says to feel better, take horse dewormer. I say to feel better, take horse tranquiliser. He's got his head up his A-hole. I got mine in a K-hole. And, during this time, I also get COVID, which is no fun at all. And the only person to help me out is my mum, who read off WeChat, which is like Chinese Facebook, full of misinformation, that protein cures COVID. So to my home, she delivers 60 eggs. She's also taught me to never waste food, so now I'm the only 28-year-old girl I know with frozen eggs. Like, I am genuinely at the moment thinking of freezing my eggs, and I just feel like it's a really expensive form of procrastination. It's like over $10,000 for the procedure. I'm at that stage now where I encourage teen pregnancy because I'm like, that's a bargain. I'm also really scared of getting my eggs frozen because, what happens if, my kid grows up and everyone knows they've been frozen? They taste like a Zupa Duper. Right? But back to my mum, she's the type of person who's never really believed in, Western medicine. Growing up, I never went to the GP. I didn't even know what a Medicare card was for. I thought that was just to remind you that you had a family. And the numbers down the side establish the hierarchy. So there's not much to do during this lockdown. My friends are telling me about this thing called TikTok, and they're like, Jenny, you want to be a comedian? There's people that are going viral on this. And I'm just like, TikTok, yuck. Right? The only people who post are just self-indulgent, absorbed, narcissistic. So I post a TikTok and I just figure if I do it once, then I can say I've done it and I don't have to be worried about my friends pestering me anymore. So I tap into a trend that I quite enjoy, Dua Lipa. But I put my own spin on it, so here is the video.
Here's Dua Lipa, but Australian. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, we're levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But this video blows up. It gets over 200,000 views. And that's the most my work has ever received. If we were to put this into open mic terms, that would be 100,000 open mics, which for those of you calculating along, an average of 2 people per show. I'm including myself as one of those. And it's addictive, refreshing the app and seeing the numbers go up. They're going up and up and up and up and up and... Well, actually, this is just the number of COVID cases, but... My point is, COVID is not the only thing going viral, so is Jenny Tian. And I'm like, okay, so I got to replicate this success. What worked about this? Doing things about Australia. What's happening in Australia? Lockdown. I post every single day about the pandemic, and the success is not only validated in the viewership numbers, it's also validated when I browse the internet and find myself on a website called famousbirthdays.com. And I don't quite know what's more insulting about this. The fact that I am the 140,000th most popular, or that of all the comedians born on the 24th of July, a very niche category, I come in behind 2 people that don't even have pictures? And my life starts to look a lot less like consulting and a lot more like content. But don't let me tell you about it. Let me show you. I thought what might be fun at this stage is I've pre-prepared a vlog, and I thought we might tap into that content trend where someone else does the voiceover. So I'm going to pick someone again to do this. I'm going to pick you. Give them a round of applause. All right, so this is super simple. I've done this with 1,000,001 audience members, and there's no way to stuff this up, okay? So, basically, I'm going to be playing the vlog for you, and all you have to do when I point the microphone to you is visually describe what you see in the vlog. And it's going to be really fun. Okay, you got it. Let's go.
This girl made me sit in the front row and now I have to describe her stupid day. I am never, ever coming to her show again. The absolute cunt.
Round of applause. You really let the intrusive thoughts win there. So, I understand that the success is something to do with like how my voice doesn't match my face. Like, I'm aware that my voice sounds like the type of person to start a hate crime against my face. And for that reason, I kind of want to start the podcast for One Nation. Just so I can be like, fuck immigration, I hate Asians, turn back the boats. And when they check the thumbnail, it's just me doing this. And the caption's like, I really care about One Nation, China. This is kind of the first time me as a Chinese person growing up in a Western country has been celebrated. Because a lot of the time in the media and in public perception, they'll put you into a box that they can understand. For example, I still get asked to audition for the role of an international student. And I understand why. Like, they see my headshot, a polite, cute Asian girl. They expect me to walk into the casting room giggling like, oh. And then I walk in like, hey, cunts. And they're kind of just like, hey, Jenny, could you just be a bit more like an international student? Like change your accent a bit, be a bit more international. And I'm like, no, but I can do interstate. From Toowoomba. I really enjoy having the Australian accent. It's quite fun. Like, I feel like we're having a moment. A lot of people are like, oh, the Australian accent is so attractive. And I'm like, is it? Because I think we sound really goofy. You don't hear our hottest Australian celebrities doing the Australian accent in their films. Could you imagine Chris Hemsworth as Thor? Like, oh no, not Thanos. Or Margot Robbie as Barbie? Like, oh, Ken, piss off. And if Ken was Australian, he'd be like, Barbie. And then he'd chuck a prawn on her. Growing up, my parents could never afford a Barbie doll for me. The closest thing I had to Barbie was the free McDonald's Happy Meal toy. I had Lilo's older sister from Lilo and Stitch. She was known for surfing, didn't come with a surfboard, so she just had her legs wide apart like this and her arms out. And whenever I walked her around, it looked exactly like she had just taken a shit. I'd be playing with other kids. They're like, oh, my Barbie's a chef. My Barbie's a police officer. I'm like, my Barbie's got diarrhea. She's eaten a Zinger burger. I quite enjoy analysing stereotypes. I find that we'll always shut down negative stereotypes, but we'll let the positive ones fly. Like, I was speaking to this guy and he was like, Asian women are so submissive. And I was like, excuse me? And he went, so they're the most popular on dating apps? And I was like, well, excuse me. Also, that stereotype of Asian women being submissive is so untrue, right? Like, I'm Chinese. I could take you and your property. Also, as a Chinese person, I don't actually speak that much Mandarin. Like, my dog at home knows more Mandarin than I do. Yeah, he doesn't go bow wow, he goes bow wow. This becomes really tricky when I'm in workplace situations and they'll rely on me to be the Chinese translator. Like, once I was working as a receptionist and there was this old Chinese grandpa who walked in. He was like, 我们孩子一点病，但是我们还要他上学校学习，跟老师说我们要他交朋友，努力学习，跟他说。And everyone is looking at me like, what did he just say? And I'm just like, he said hi? So I embrace both the Chinese and the Australian aspects of myself. I'm posting all the time about Australia, and on a little corner on the internet, I find myself becoming the face of the Australian pandemic, which is quite ironic because a lot of people were blaming Chinese people for the pandemic. Now, what I hadn't really considered in all of this was what Australia's perception of me would be. Because I knew the internet thrived on things that were divisive. I just never knew that thing would be me. Like, there's a group of people that love me, but there's also a group of people that hate me, and they're charging towards me like bulls charging towards a red flag, except I'm Chinese, so it's got 5 stars. And they're telling me this in the comment sections of my videos. And here's a few I've selected for us to go through together. There's this one which says, I miss my Chinese takeaway. Stop making videos and back to the shop. There's this one that says, you're the reason why COVID is in Australia. Shut up. Pretty sure that one's Pauline Hanson. There's this one that says, but you're Asian. Imagine if this is how I found out. Here's the most triggering one. You talk like my Chonny. Which, for those of you who don't know who my Chonny is, it's this guy. And he's kind of known on the internet for lowbrow humour, like Asian man arrested for eating ibis. And I'm like, I'd like to think I'm not like this. I'd like to think I'm slightly more dignified. But then again, I do see the resemblance. And all of this at the time is not helped by one particular man, Donald Trump, who is referring to COVID as the China virus. He hates Chinese people. He is so scared of us. I think it's because we actually know how to build a wall. That was very nice. Shusha. And this is surprising to me because all of this is coming from TikTok, which is supposedly our youngest and most progressive generation. I don't understand what this means about my country and the future. And, well, actually, we're, halfway through the show now. And at this stage, comedians usually insert an additional element to keep your attention. So, this is all coming from TikTok, which is full of our youngest, most progressive generation. Yet they don't know the difference between ethnicity and nationality. And you'd think, oh, is this how Jenny quits? No, because I start getting approached by brands. And, well, actually, this starts to look a lot like consulting. And I'm a bit saddened by this because I just thought there would always be a bit more to my life than just like selling products to people. And with that being said, here is bucket hat number 7. Now, we are, halfway through the show now, and I decided that I would show you an ad that I did for ABC's show Gruen. It's one of the cringiest things I have ever made. Please enjoy.
When it's your dream to be on the set of Groom because it's your favourite show, dreams really do come true.
I've never seen an episode of Gruen. I hope Will Anderson never finds out. And now I get to work with brands like TikTok, like the actual company TikTok wants to work with me, and together we create ads, videos, and then we post them on Instagram. I worked with LinkedIn, Spotify, but do you guys want to hear like the worst brand I've ever worked with? Yes. Okay, now what happens in this room has to stay in this room. And for you, I better not see any fucking tweets about this. The worst brand that I have ever worked with is motherfucking Pizza Hut. They are so bad. Everyone after this show, go get Domino's. Get what's hot in the box with the dots. Now, to unpack why Pizza Hut is so bad, I got to tell you about the campaign, which is the 2+2 deal. And I'm being briefed about this via a Zoom call in lockdown by a British guy with a condescendingly high-pitched voice. It sounds like getting instructions from Peppa the Pig. He's like, right, Jenny, we got this campaign called Pizza Hut's 2+2 deal. We want you to compare this deal with other deals, like Boxing Day sales. And I'm like, hold on, you want me to compare Pizza Hut with Boxing Day? Those are not two things you can compare to each other. They're not on the same axes. What video could I possibly make? Now, before I show it to you, know that a good ad in influencer world is one where you can't even tell it's an ad. So with that being said, here is the video.
Here's the difference between Boxing Day sales and Pizza Hut's 2+2 deal. I don't have to wait. I'll just call Pizza Hut and they'll deliver. What? I have to line up for 5 hours? Just take away my entire weekend, why don't you? You don't have to spend that long making a decision. Just get Pizza Hut's 2+2 deal. There's too many items to choose from. It's overwhelming. How good is it getting Pizza Hut delivered? All the items are gone already, but I just got here.
Yeah, it's very bad. You know what, since we're all sworn to secrecy at the moment, here's a little outtake that I thought I'd share with you.
Here's the difference between Boxing Day sales and Pizza Hut's 2+2 deal. This is so shit.
Sorry, there's actually a bit more to this.
Yes,
Here's
just like we rehearsed.
Boxing Day
I want a
sales and
bigger
Pizza Hut's
smile
2+2
out
deal.
of you. I want a bigger smile. We're going to have to re-record that entire thing again because of you.
Sorry, there's a bit more.
Yes,
Here's
just
the
like we
difference between
rehearsed.
Boxing Day
I want a
sales
bigger smile out of you. I want a bigger smile. We're going to have to re-record that entire thing again because of you.
There's actually a bit more.
Breaking news. We are coming to you live from footage of a content creator being held captive by a violent fast food company. We are sending all of our thoughts and prayers.
Sorry, there's just one last one.
Breaking news. We are coming to you live from footage of a content creator being held captive by a violent fast food company. We are sending all of our thoughts and prayers.
But you know what? It's over and I can say I hate Pizza Hut. Well, I mean, I love Pizza Hut. Oh, don't look at me. But you know what? At this stage, I'm making enough cash from content where I can finally quit my stupid consulting day job. Hooray! Oh, wow, what's happening right now?
This is your screen time warning for 45 minutes.
Oh.
Get out of your content slump. Please stand.
Oh, everyone, if you're able to, please stand. Yes, everyone is you, yes.
Don't you want to experience life without your phone?
Oh, that might be nice.
And be left alone with your thoughts, which are so sad, and horny.
No, I don't want that.
Or you can ignore this notification and keep scrolling. All you have to do is say out loud, I have ADHD.
All right, everyone, we have to say it together. 3, 2, 1. I have ADHD. Okay, you may now sit. Now, at this stage, I'm working with clients again, which feels like consulting, and I've become so busy with these brands that I have to put meetings into Outlook calendars. But this feels even worse than consulting, right? Because at least in like the world of consulting, you get feedback in like a constructive manner. In the online world, people are just like, but why isn't Asian talking? At least in consulting, your manager isn't racist, openly. And the comments at this stage keep piling in, and they get quite mean. Now, some of you may already know this joke of mine, and I'm bringing it back for good reason. Someone said, just because you have a citizenship doesn't mean you're Australian. Yeah. And I just replied, cunt. How's that for Australian? The reality of the situation is that I didn't actually say this. I didn't know what to say. I stayed silent and I was sad. And then I wiped my tears away with Pizza Hut money. And at this stage, I'm like, okay, so being a comedian now means that I have to build my own audience. I have to post consistently. I have to be able to handle the hyper scrutiny of this audience and read all of their comments for engagement. I think I'm too sensitive to be doing this. And the comments keep coming in, and when everyone else in lockdown seems to be doing just fine, and the only thing coming into your head is that you don't deserve to exist, you really start to believe it. Now, I'm about to say something that's going to make you sad, but it's okay. I'll tell you a joke afterwards and you'll feel happy again. I called Beyond Blue. Now, here's the difference between Beyond Blue and Lifeline. No, I'm kidding, I wouldn't go there. Here's the difference between Beyond Blue and Boxing Day sales. Now, lockdown does end, and to my surprise, all of the racism against East Asians is solved in one cultural moment. Thank you, Squid Game. Thank you so much, Squid Game. And I know, like, Squid Game is Korean, I'm Chinese, that's not the same thing. But I feel like our cultures really bond together because in history we were both screwed over by Japanese people. Yeah, I'm about to bring up war crimes. And my mum, she reminds me of this. She's like, Jenny, you must hate Japanese people because you can't forgive them for what they did to us during the war. And I'm like, okay, yep. But then I have a bowl of ramen and I'm like, I love Japanese people. All right, they're so adorable, right? Like, how could you hate an entire nation whose word for ice cream is ice creamu? And, you know, I'm sitting by myself at home one day. Now, it's 2023 and there's this notification that catches my eye. It says that Ronny Chieng is coming to Sydney, Australia, and he's about to do his biggest show yet. And I'm like, wow, this guy's kind of like the whole reason I got into this. And just a little side note here, when I was writing this show, I just Control F'd Ronny Chieng in my emails, and that's why his name is highlighted here. I don't want you thinking that I just highlighted every time I saw Ronny Chieng. All right? And I'm like, maybe I could be part of this big moment. Like, what if I could be his opening act? Like, I've got internet clout. I could DM him. So I message, hey, Ronny, hope you're well. Like, I'm starting an email from my consulting days. Like, I'm a comic from Sydney, Australia. Been a long time fan. I first saw you at UNSW Week. Ha ha. Ha ha? What was I thinking? But then I also attach a little clip to this and then I send it off and then I wait. And I wait a day and I don't hear back, but that's okay because he's in New York. There's a time difference. I wait another day and I'm not hearing back, but you know what? He's a busy guy. He's on The Daily Show. I wait till the end of the week and I don't hear back and I'm like, that's okay. You know, he's so busy. He's in Marvel movies now. He's probably getting jacked for his next role. I never hear back from Ronny Chieng. And I'm like, oh, I knew it. It's because I said ha ha. Or maybe he watched the clip and he didn't think I was very funny. So then I throw myself back into stand-up comedy harder than I ever have before, and I am touring that 1 hour that I had planned pre-lockdown, and I am so proud of this that I decide to film it and post it up onto YouTube. But right before I do, well, I start to get scared because I'm thinking about all the different ways people can attack me, because it doesn't matter how good I am. I'm a woman, so they'll say I'm not funny. And I'm Chinese, so they'll say I'm not Australian. And these comments, they just keep coming into my mind and I can't stop them. And at this stage of the journey, I learn that the most important thing to prioritise is myself. So I start going to therapy. Now, everyone says that the hardest part of therapy is just starting a session, right? Your very first session. But I think the hardest part of therapy is paying for therapy. And all my therapist tells me is to eat well, sleep well, clean my room. I'm like, is my mum paying you to say this? And, you know, she diagnoses me with anxiety and depression, which is so 2012. And she goes, you know, Jenny, whenever you feel anxious, what I want you to do is imagine that there is a river flowing. And for every intrusive thought you have, imagine that you're putting that thought onto a leaf and putting it in the river and letting it flow. And if you think this exercise is stupid, then put that thought onto a leaf. So I've done this exercise and it is actually quite effective, but now whenever I walk past foliage, I have a panic attack. There's a gust of wind that blows it toward me and I'm like, it's my problems. She's also never told me what happens when there's too many leaves in the river. Like, what happens if, like, my river gets clogged up with leaves and now I've got more anxiety because of this and I've got to hire a special cleaning service to get it out. It would be called Jim's therapy. And she's also taught me a bunch of coping strategies, like to turn the notifications off and to stop reading the comments. And I am finally in a place where I am mentally well enough to post my special. And a week later, I get a call from my agent. And she goes, Jenny, how free are you next Friday? And I'm like, I'm available, what's up? And she goes, you're going to be opening for Ronny Chieng. And I'm like, me? Opening for Ronny Chieng? He liked ha-ha? And she goes, yes, you will be opening for him. You and Will Anderson, the host of Crewin. And I go, oh my goodness, I hope he never downloads TikTok. And right before I'm about to meet Ronny, I start to get scared because I'm thinking like, okay, but what if this turns into like a never meet your heroes moment? I've got no idea what this guy is like. But when I do meet him, he is warm and he is kind and you know he's a good Asian uncle because the first thing he does is offer me fruit. Yeah, don't tell him I called him an uncle. And we walk out on stage together. And I am reminded in that moment where I get to perform to over 6,000 people at the Aware Super Theatre in Sydney that the journey is really worth it. And I really do love stand-up comedy. And I am reminded right now, as I stand inside your little screen on YouTube, that I really do love stand-up comedy. And I guess if there was one lesson that I were to take away from all of this, it's go to UNSW O Week. Hey, that's been the show. Thank you so much for coming, everyone.